Senior Minister Dr. Sarath Amunugama says that getting the government to completely handle the tourism sector and heritage sites is an invitation to incompetence. The minister made this statement during a seminar held in Colombo yesterday.
A seminar titled Public-Private Partnerships and Heritage, a Sustainable Investment was held in Colombo yesterday. The event, which was organized by the Center for International Heritage Activities, was graced by a number of distinguished guests.
Tourism in Sri Lanka is a private sector business. If anybody says that government can do tourism, I don't believe it. Giving this whole thing to the government to manage is an invitation to incompetence and delay. The people who are running these operations at ground level must be trained and must be made much more responsive to the visitor, to the person who comes to that heritage site. We cannot afford to have tourists coming there and being subjected to this usual bureaucratic runaround. And I think we have to find a way of just getting the government out of this business of guiding, looking after sites and so on, because you have to have a more efficient and a more, shall I say, technology savvy way of dealing with that.
We have to recognize the problems of the public sector, both in Sri Lanka and in the Netherlands, to deal with the tremendous amount of treasures in a sustainable way. Therefore, we need to broaden our partnerships, and we have to look for new ideas and new sources of funding to safeguard our heritage. We have to look beyond the historic and scientific value of heritage, and we have to identify new partners for using and thereby preserving our common heritage.
Minister of Youth Affairs and Skills Development Dallas Alahapirma says that the obstructions that were in place for unity were cast aside with the abolishment of the preferential system.
We need unity, not only among parties but within parties. The main obstruction was the preferential voting system. Now it's gone. During the elections for the Pradesh Sabha, the act that we witnessed after 87 were not witnessed. We are united to eradicate one single political culture.
Minister Alahapirma expressed his view at the event held to lay the foundation stone for the community hall in Valhitiya, Dikwalla. The minister later attended the second day of the Sitakin Nethakata art exhibition at the Dikwalla Bathigama Mahavidyalaya. Arts by Vasana Sakuntala and Dasun Chanaka were on display at the exhibition.
United National Party parliamentarian Mangala Samaravira says that the government is becoming weak. He expressed this view at an event in Mathura today.
A meeting was held to establish the Mathura District Young Professionals Association of the United National Party. Due to this massive battle being waged against the judiciary, this government is becoming weak. Very soon it will implode. The courts made a request, not an order, a request, to postpone the Parliamentary Select Committee meeting till the court gives a verdict on the Chief Justice's issue. However, the government members of the Parliamentary Select Committee ignored this request, and through this, it has become clear what the government's real intentions are. They are becoming clearer each day. A situation is being created where the government won't be able to speak to the international community freely. On the other hand, the country is being pushed into an economic precipice. This is not the executive created by President J.R. Jayawardene in 1977. An individual can remain president until his death. Not only that, through the 18th Amendment to the Constitution, he took the power of other independent commissions under him. As long as he had the two-thirds majority, he operated the parliament the way he wanted. Now, he is influencing the judiciary in order to run it the way he wants. We should understand what this process is. This is a dictatorship.
මේක ඒකාධිපති වාදයක් ඒකාධිපතිවරයෙක් බිහි කරන ලකුණු දැන් පේන්නේ නැත්නම් ඉතින් මීට වඩා ලකුණක් නැහැ.
Cut. Make your choice now.
අනුපක්ෂයේ මන්ත්‍රීවරු කියන දේවල් අහන් ඉන්නවා විරුද්ධ පක්ෂයේ මන්ත්‍රීවරු කියන දේවල් අහන් ඉන්නවා ඒ දෙකම අතරදී තමක් වැරදුනොත් අතරමැදටම මතපැදියක් තියෙනවා
විරුද්ධ පක්ෂයක් නැති රටක් බවට පත් වෙලා තියෙන ලංකාව. ඉදිරියේදී අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා මහජනතාව අතරින් විපක්ෂයක් හදන්න. ඒකටයි මේ අපි පෙරමුණ අරගෙන තිබෙන්නේ. වැඩ කරන්න එපා කෙරුවොත් මම නීතිය මම නීතිය හදලා ගන්නවා. සර් තව එකක් තමයි අපි මේ බලන්නේ මේ කල්ලු කරන්න එපා ඉතින් කරුණා කරලා.
Vote now for your favorite cut of the day. Log on to www.newsfirst.lk or SMS to best space your choice and send it to 7788. For the best cut of the day, watch News First on Sirius TV at 10 tonight.
The overheads of the Ministry of Economic Development was passed in Parliament today. UMP parliamentarian Ravi Kannanayaka opened the debate.
The only benefit that we got from y'all is that you brought in racing cars such as Lamborghinis. Do we only need to invest in the wealthy class? The same people who said that they wanted to end the war are now spending heavily on defense, and they are saying that they cannot raise salaries. The responsibility of the UNP is to build the nation and protect the people. We do not want to protect a corrupt government which aims to create an economy for a selected group. About 80 to 90% of the investors are from the private sector. However, you have not given any concessions to the working class. There are only 5 million families in the country. This whole effort is aimed at uplifting the living standards of 1.8 million families. The Samruddhi has already given loans worth 60 billion rupees. By the looks of things, there is development in the country over the past 3 to 4 years. By the looks of things, there is development in the country over the past 3 to 4 years. However, I believe that the benefits of this development has not reached the people. Thousands of youth in both the north and south risk their lives and attempt to travel to Australia illegally by sea. This goes to show that there is a serious problem in the country. Our duty was to end the 30-year war and change the lifestyle of the people in poverty. We will continue our activities for the common man, and after the next 3 to 4 years, these politicians who have limited themselves to the cities will know that they won't be able to come into power for a number of years. That is why the minister told the newspapers that the opposition has been finished due to the Divinagum bill.
In more news from the Parliament, UMP parliamentarian Eran Vikramaratne raised a question in Parliament about the rights of disabled individuals.
According to the previous consensus, it was 1.6. We believe that figure is around 7% now. In 2006, a bill was brought to Parliament regarding the rights of disabled people. Are you hoping to bring the same bill into Parliament, or is it a separate bill?
ස්වාධීන අධිකරණයක් ජනාධිපතිතුමා යටතේ පත් කරන්න තමයි 2006 පනතේ නියම කළේ. ඒක ඇති කරනවද නැද්ද?
We can do this once the act is passed. However, there is a delay in assessing whether the protocol suits the country. Autistic children also need to have a right to enter good schools. Will this right be granted to our children? We concluded a program with Sirasa, and an organization which helps autistic children was the winner of it. We are holding discussions with them, and we are hoping to bring in proposals to help them even more. This 5-year-old child, who cries constantly owing to not falling asleep, has spent the most amount of time in hospitals. This child has fallen victim to neonatal jaundice condition, which could be faced by newborns after a lapse of 3 or 4 days. The medical recommendation for such a situation is to expose the child to sunlight. If the main symptom of the neonatal jaundice condition, which is the skin turning yellow, does not go away within about 2 days of using this method, it is mandatory to admit the infant to the hospital and seek medical attention. Taking into consideration the yellow color of the skin of this child, which did not disappear even after exposing him to sunlight for 2 days, the parents have taken him to the Kurunagala Teaching Hospital on the 26th of July 2007. Even though the OPD took the necessary steps to immediately hospitalize the infant, who was 5 days old at the time, a letter forwarded by the parents to the Minister of Health after a lapse of about 3 months notes that the neonatal ward acted against it and refused to admit the child. The letter states that the child is taken for medical examination following his admission to the hospital after he had completed 10 days. Following the letter forwarded to the Minister of Health by the parents who considered this move as neglecting medication, the Ministry of Health has requested for observations from the directress of the Kurunegala General Hospital when the child is 1 year and 8 months old. The incident connected to this child is yet another example to the incidents where the investigations demanded by the public on professional caution in relation to free health service has been swept under the carpet as time passes. A much serious condition than the forgotten investigations have now become a hurdle to the survival of this child. It has been over 5 months since the medical supplies unit is neglecting their responsibility of providing a drug which is prescribed to the child by a pediatrician of the Kandy General Hospital. This drug could not be purchased from the local market either. Minister of Health, this is over to you.